Become an icon with your money. Everybody wants to become an icon with their money. Everybody wants to have more money. Money is one of the most important and often overlooked subjects in life, meaning people have a very strong emotional attachment to their money. If you think that you're not emotionally attached to your money, ask yourself a simple question. If I give you $1 million cash right now, are you happy or are you sad? 9 out of 10 people, if not 9.9999, or 11 out of 10 people are going to say they're happy. Now, if you lose $1 million, you lose a substantial amount of your net worth, are you happy or you sad? Just about everybody says they're sad. But what are these words that I'm using? They're emotions. Happy is an emotion, sad is an emotion. When you buy things, does that make you happy or sad? Ladies and gentlemen, the reason why most people are broke or don't have enough money or don't have a good concept of money is because there's a very simple relationship with money that they don't understand. They've been programmed with the poor mentality. And don't feel bad if you've been one of these people programmed with the poor mentality. The rich think differently. Wealthy people that are richer than the rich people, the wealthy people think even differently. Chris Rock has a great line about wealthy and being rich. He goes, Shaq is rich. The guy who writes his check is wealthy, right? So you study the top 1%. The top 1% of the 1%. How do these billionaires think? What's their association with money? And they realize, and after I've studied all these people, you realize they have certain tendencies, certain shared attributes with respect to how they view money. First off, it's not a bad thing. It's a neutral thing. You can choose it to be, assign whatever belief you want. It's a good thing or it's a bad thing to have money. Money itself is a piece of paper. Now, what matters is what you assign or what your perception is with respect to money. Do you view money as a negative or do you view it as a positive? Most people say they view it as a positive, but if you look at their actions, it's exactly contrary to what needs to get done to accumulate wealth. The simplest thing to accumulate wealth, it's not making a bazillion dollars, it's one formula, and it's super simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Cash flow in versus cash flow out. If you have more money flowing in than flowing out, you're going to accumulate wealth over the long term. It's that simple. It's a scientific fact. It's not about making more money. So people say, oh, I need to make more money, No. You need to manage your money better. You make $10 million a year, which is a crazy amount of money for most people. You spend 11, you're -1 at the end of the year. It's not about making more money. It's about controlling that ratio, how much you make versus how much you spend. I can tell you a list of endless amount of people, and don't take my word for it, just Google it. The UPS truck driver who makes who made $29,000 and retired with $7 million after working there his whole life. The McDonald's manager who's happier than a kid in a candy store and has saved more money than people that make 6 and 7 figures because they know how to spend their money with respect to how much they make. They know how to budget. They know how to live frugally when necessary. You don't have to live frugally all the time, but they know to spend less than they make. That's the core to accumulating wealth. Most people trade time for money. I'm going to go work at a job and I'm going to get paid X amount of dollars per hour. Or I'm going to get a salary for working this job. The problem with that, it's a finite amount of money. And in that case, there's a finite amount of time. Wealthy people don't do that. Wealthy people employ other people, right? So wealthy people, they think differently about time and money. They don't exchange their time for money. What they do is they have their money work for them. They change the dynamic. And what I mean by that is if I pay you $20 an hour to go do a job, I'm going to make $100 on that hour of productivity. A dentist, I'm invested in other practices. One of them is a DSO, a dental support organization. I own a couple of dental practices. What do? You hire a dentist, you pay him $500 to do XYZ, fill a cavity. You make $1,500 in the back of him. He's happy because he's making the $500. The owner is happy because they're making the money on the back end. You work at a big store, a department store. You work for a telephone company selling cell phones. How much do you think the company makes from that sale, right? You could pay an employee $20 an hour to work 40 hours a week. The guy sells, I don't know, 10, 20 lines over the course of the month. How much money forever, the lifetime value of the customer, you think that telephone company, the cell phone company made? No matter what they pay him, they're going to make not 10x, not 20x, not 100x, infinite amount of x more than they paid for that salary. But the employee is happy that they're getting the salary. Think about money differently, right? Think about how much you spend versus how much you make. Think about what you do with your time. Think about how you earn your money. Think about what your money does for you. How is your money going to make you more money? How is your intellect, your brain power, going to make you wealthy? Compounding returns. One of the most powerful forces in financial nature, if you will, if that's even a term, is compounding. And what that basically means is that your money grows astronomically or exponentially when it compounds. So let's do easy math. You have $100 and you make 10%. Now, that might not seem like a lot. You go from 100 to 110, you're up 10%. But think about it. The next time you go up 10%, you're now going from a higher base. You're going compounding on 110. So you go up 10% there, and then 10% there. Each time you go up only 10%, you're going up from a much larger base. So as you start growing, it grows exponentially. Think about when you get to 1,000 and you go up 10%, how much are you up? You're up 100. That was your initial principle. That was how much you had at the beginning. Compounding works for you, and compounding can work against you. If you have big credit card debt and you pay 18, 23%, 25%, whatever crazy interest rates you have or you pay on that debt, it snowballs in the other direction in favor of Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or any other credit card company that you have. So keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the power of compounding is one of, if not the most important principles to achieving long-term financial success and really being a master with your money. The concept of debt can be divided into two categories. As you've noticed, a recurring theme with me is everything's binary. It's either good or bad. It either works or it doesn't work, right? You either win or lose. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Now, for example, credit card, is that good or bad? You tell me. It's bad. Mortgage, if you want to buy a house, is that good or bad? Depending on where you are in the cycle and your age and your income and your situation and how many houses you have or how many investment properties you have, it could be good and it could be bad. So it's not a hard yes or a hard no. But on all things being equal, having one mortgage on a house that you primarily live in, that's a good thing, especially if you can pay it off. And if you buy it during a recession or after housing prices come down, not after they're up for 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years. Because what happens after every bull market is a bear market. In finance jargon, that means after an up move or an uptrend, there's a downtrend. So always be aware of where you are in the cycle before you buy or before you sell. But I'll get to that a little bit later when we start talking about the investment plan and the financial plan. But for now, understand debt comes in two different sizes and shapes and two different categories: good and bad. Credit card debt, all things being equal, is not good. Mortgage debt for one property that you can afford, that you can live in as your primary residence, buying at the right time in a cycle, is considered good debt. If you want to accumulate wealth, the first thing you have to do is start saving money. And that means you spend less than you make. Over time, with the power of compounding, you're going to increase your wealth. Now that you start having savings, the question becomes, what do you do with those savings? What do you do with that money? You can let it sit idle. You can talk to your banker, your investment advisor, or whatever, your broker, whatever the case may be, for options. And just like everything in life, I strongly recommend you talk to 3 or 4 people about what they think you should do. Aggressive, conservative, intermediate, somewhere in the middle. What strategy works best for you in your situation? Of course, I don't know you. I can't give that advice. Every situation's different. But don't just talk to one guy or one gal and get their opinion. Think what she says is right. Because just like everybody in life, it doesn't matter what it is, there's always other points of view that you should consider and keep in mind. If you only talk to one person, you're only getting one point of view on what you should do with your money, which is perhaps one of the most important things in your financial world, if not the most important thing, right? Arguably, it's the most important thing in your financial world. It's your money. What do you do with it? How do you invest it? So the mistake people make is they just talk to one person, they like that person, boom, they take their advice. The problem is that could be good advice, but it's limiting. You're not seeing all the angles. Go back and watch all the angles walls that we talked about, how to break that down. Look at other points of view and incorporate those points of views into your decision. Take all that information, put it together, and then make the best decision. The best idea wins, right? The best idea wins. It's that simple on what you should do with your money. And in order to get that information, you have to speak with somebody who knows your situation and be honest with them and be honest with yourself. Wants. We want different things. There's two kinds of wants. There's a real want, and then there's what I call BS want. I'm going to keep the language rated G here. Not a good want, right? And the idea is real simple. We all want different things. What do you want most? Whatever you want most on a conscious or unconscious level is what you're going to strive towards and move in that direction. So people say all the time, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight, but they're eating the cookies and the chocolate chip pancakes and the donuts and the XYZ, right? And they're not working out. But I want to lose weight. No, you don't. That's not a real powerful want. What you want is to eat the cookie, or eat the donut, or eat the chocolate chip cake, or whatever it is. Look at your wants and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, what do you want most? And then what actions are you doing to accomplish that goal? I want to be wealthy. You know, many people come to me and say, Adam, I want to be wealthy. I wish I had this much money. If I had this much money, I could do X, Y, Z. Meanwhile, what happens? They're spending more money than they're making, or they're spending frivolously on items and things that they shouldn't be buying. So always take inventory, ladies and gentlemen, of what your wants are. Think about what you're spending your money on. Now let's talk about spending. We're back to the financial wall again. So we know that the wants apply to everything. What do you want most? Focus on that. Write it down, and then see what actions you're taking, and make sure they're congruent with what you want. Because if they're not, you're not going to accomplish what you say you want. The spending. There's emotional spending, and then there's critical, actual needs spending. So you can buy things for many different reasons. There's something called retail therapy, which you can Google the term. It basically means people buy things, they go shopping because it fires off chemicals in their brains that makes them feel good. It feels good to shop. It feels good to buy things. So people go on a shopping spree unconsciously and they just buy. What's happening? They're spending, cash is flowing in or out. Think of it now as a grown-up, right? The adulting. Cash is flowing out. If you're not aware of what you're buying, what you're spending your money on, you're toast. Why? Because what happens? At the end of the day, in the long term, you're not going to have as much as you should. If you're not going to have anything if you keep spending, if you spend too much. So be very, very careful, ladies and gentlemen, of what you spend your money on and how you spend your money. Is it a necessity? Do you need to spend that money on this? Or is it a luxury or a privilege, or can you do without it? What do you want more? You want the chocolate cake right now? Or do you want to look good tomorrow? Do you want to buy that thing right now and feel good? Think of pain and pleasure. You want that pleasure right now of feeling good of buying that thing right now? Or do you want to feel good tomorrow and have a nice, comfortable retirement? After you understand all the dynamics that we've just discussed, it's imperative, ladies and gentlemen, that you come up with a sound financial and investment plan. If you have a sound financial plan, it covers all aspects of your life. How much money do you need for retirement? Double it, by the way. How much money do you need to save for your children's college? How much money do you need to spend the next 5-10 years? Do you have an emergency fund? Just think of the basics. And again, you can go to a financial planner. There's certified financial planners out there. There's investment advisors that do this with you, that can sit down with you and you can develop a sound financial plan. And I recommend doing multiple plans with different people because you get different advice and different opinions and different points of views. And then you select which is best for you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is your money. The onus is on you to take care of your money. Just like it's your body, it's your health. The onus is on you. I can't do the setups for you, right? The onus is on you to take care of your body and take care of your mind and spirit, right? And your money's the same thing. If you don't take care of your money, somebody else will. They'll probably end up taking it from you. there's two kinds of people in the world. There's consumers, people who shop and buy things, and then there's creators, people who create things that the consumers buy and they end up, giving the money to. A movie. What's your favorite movie? Doesn't matter what it is. Somebody created that movie and you spent money to watch it, right? The jacket that I'm wearing, the shirt that I'm wearing, the watch that I have on, the phone, doesn't matter. The iPhone. Someone at Apple, Steve Jobs and his team, they created the iPhone. Well, that's great. Guess what? They sold gazillion iPhones. Consumers, people bought it. What are you creating that can add value to other people? That they're going to pay you money for that good product or service. So this is not just, hey, quit your day job and go set up your own business and live in La La Land in a dream world and oh my God. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you want to increase your income streams or diversify your income streams, what can you do? Let's talk about businesses, for example, for just a basic core of just touching on the topic of being an entrepreneur. Any business in the world does one of two things. You either A, solve a problem for somebody, or B, you provide massive value. And if you're looking for ways to generate new streams of income, ask yourself, what problems out there do I have, or do other people that I know have, or in the market have that I don't know, it doesn't matter if you know them or not. Can I solve them? And then the second thing is, am I providing massive value? Go to any kindergarten table anywhere in the world. You have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I have a chocolate chip cookie. And I say, hey, do you want to make a trade? Would you like this cookie? If you perceive there to be more value in that cookie versus your peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you're going to make the trade every single time. Child, and by the way, adults do the same exact thing. And that's what businesses do all day long. If you perceive there to be more value in what you're about to buy than the perception of the money that you have for it, you're going to buy it. Especially if it solves a problem for you. Or if it gives you big value. So look at Netflix. Netflix is the greatest example. To go watch a movie for a family of 4, you're going to spend $20, $30, $40, $50 in a movie theater, depending on the concession stand and all that fun stuff. And you have to go Friday night at 8 o'clock or Saturday at 2, at a time that's convenient for the theater, not convenient for you and your family. Meanwhile, you can subscribe to Netflix for $10 or $15 a month, or if they raise prices by the time you watch, it's $20 a month, doesn't matter what it is, some small amount of money, and they give you unlimited movies in the comfort of your home, 24/7 on demand. Whenever you want it, click a mouse and you watch a movie or a TV show. Almost unlimited entertainment. Small amount of money, massive value. That's why they have millions and millions of subscribers. Same thing with Amazon, same thing with Apple, same thing with all these businesses. They solve a problem, they provide massive value. Think of it, you're setting up a business, you want another stream of income. Are you solving a problem? Is what does it work? Steve Jobs, the creator of the iPhones, had a great line. He had all his litmus test, all his engineers, before they presented any product to him, before they would pitch an idea to him, he would ask, does it work? Does what you're selling actually help? Does it solve a problem? Does it provide value? Does it actually work? The second step, after you are able to solve a problem, is are you able to provide massive value? If you can provide value to your customers, more than the amount that you ask for money in return, which by the way, I hope I'm doing here in these videos for you, you're going to have customers for life. People tell you, follow your passion, you're going to make it. No. I know many, many people that are passionate about things that they can't make money doing. The market is one of them, the stock market. I know countless people, more people that I want to share, that are passionate about the market and they lose money hand over fist, year over year, lose their families, lose their lives, lose everything. But they're passionate about it and they come back to more, like a junkie. I know people that are videographers, same exact situation, whatever the case may be, all scopes of life. I'm passionate about programming, I'm passionate about whatever it is, and you get lost in the Neverland. Oh, I'm following my passion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need an income, it's just like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You could do that if you've already reached the top level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For those of you who don't know, as a quick refresher, it talks about a simple need from humans. There's different levels, but the simple need at the beginning is food and shelter. And then it talks about love and connection and relationships. It goes all the way up to self-actualization. You can't focus on your self-esteem and high-level thinking or self-actualization type thoughts unless if you have basic food and shelter. And then it goes to the next level. Same thing with passion projects. There's what I call the financial hierarchy of needs or the investment hierarchy of needs. And the first step is basic income. If after you have income and you have savings and you're out of zero debt, you're out of debt, and your money is now making money for you, then you've reached the top of the investment of the money financial hierarchy of needs. Then you can focus on passion projects after you've made it, after you've accomplished your financial goals. But I see so many people that are struggling financially because they're chasing their passions and they're not focusing on making money. Just like the first level of Maslow, you've got to have food and shelter. The first step of financial freedom is income, and enough income to live comfortably. I hope this has been helpful for you. This is one of the most important walls, is the financial wall, and it's critical, ladies and gentlemen, to, like everything else, remove the emotion from the equation, change your associations with money, change your emotional attachment to money, and make objective decisions. Because when you learn how to do that, the game changes. Instead of you running after money, you can stop and you completely change your association with money. Money comes to you. There's a science of accumulating wealth. And what I've shared with you are the pieces, that the science behind it, the pieces of the puzzle. If you put everything I just shared with you together, and you have a business that solves a problem, and you have a way of acquiring customers, massive value, little bit of money, but massive value, you're going to have a thriving business. You spend less than you make, you're going to accumulate wealth. You put the law of compounding to work for you instead of against you, meaning you're making your money compound and grow instead of you paying interest, compounded interest on, making Visa's wallet get bigger or American Express's bottom line get bigger. You will accumulate wealth. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this wall and this session, and I look forward to seeing you break down other walls.